Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of here on Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. We are on Lawfolds, and this is episode number 47 here on the Lawfolds map. And well, I finally decided to maybe do something, experiment a little bit to see if perhaps it was because we had so much wool down here at our sheep farm as to why wool was, well, giving that error to begin with, saying that there was no more room to spawn wool pallets. And yes, we are using the wonderful features of the auto-loading forks here. This is a mod. If you're interested in what mod this is, I will just quickly show you this in the store. This is the CSZ equipment mod. It comes with a whole bunch of different types of bale equipment, forks, pallet forks, log grabbers, all of this stuff, and most, if maybe not all of it, is auto loading. And so if you're interested in finding the link to this mod, just go to grizzlybearsims.com. Again, that's grizzlybearsims.com, and then at the top of the page you'll see a link for add-ons and mod directories, something like that. Now, I am cheating just a little bit, and it's mainly for your sanity, kind of as it is as much mine, because I am pretty bad at bell handling of any kind, bell and pallet handling. It's kind of funny, I've talked about this before. I used to actually operate a forklift in a manufacturing plant in Texas many years ago. Gosh, it's been quite a while ago. And yeah, I actually operated a forklift and didn't have the kind of problems that I had back then that I have now in handling that, because I think that unfortunately in the real world our vision, I'm not sure if it's necessarily um, peripheral or not, but anyway, our ability to see things in the real world while operating a piece of equipment, whether it be a tractor or a forklift. And I have also driven a tractor with pallet forks on the front of it. Um, well, let's see, I don't know if I've ever talked about this or not, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about it, but um, we'll just say that in a previous life, long time ago, I was married before I met my current wife, whom we will celebrate our 10th wedding anniversary this July the 1st, as a matter of fact. So we are planning to go to Estes Park for about 4 or 5 days, I believe, and spend some time in the mountains and such. But that's a different story as well. But I was married, so this is basically my second wife, my second marriage. I did that thing that, you know, maybe some of you guys can relate to, where everybody around you is telling you, don't do it, don't do it, don't marry that girl, you know, don't rush into something, whatever the case might be, whatever the story might be. Well, well, let's just put it this way, I wasn't as smart as I am now. Um, didn't even pretend to be as smart as I am now. And so I did, you know, contrary to pretty much everybody's opinion around me, I basically did do what people said not to do, and that was I did marry that girl. And I wish, you know, hindsight's always 20/20 and all that good stuff, but yeah, so that is what it is. And so I married her again, despite the wishes of my family, and even some of her family had spoke out and said, you know, don't do it. But I did it anyway, and we'll go to the store a little bit different way here. So I'll just put the forks like that. I know some guys point the forks down. We've got traffic disabled on this map, and you know, I'm gonna try to be a very cautious driver and try not to stick anything on our way to the store. But anyway, her grandfather, very nice man, one of the nicest people that you'll meet on the face of the planet, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about her, just because that is my past, and my past is my past, just like your past is your past, and we put all these things behind us. But I'll just say that it's hard to understand how such a wonderful person can be on this planet, and in contrast, his granddaughter be such a not so nice person. But anyway, very nice man. Had a farm. He was also a logger, and probably worked until the day that he died. And unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. I really didn't know that this had happened, just because I have not had any contact with her family for, oh gosh, probably over 25 years. Now keep in mind that I am 50. I turned 50 last October, so I'm coming up on 51 this October. And I got married when I was, let's see, about 20 or 21. I'm not even sure if I was 21 yet, and divorced within 3 years. So it was one of those kind of things. So, I've learned a lot since then. I'm sure she has as well, and obviously I wish her the best of luck, but I've not had any contact with her since we stood before a county official in Texas, and that, I don't know if it was a judge or not, but that person said, I hereby declare you guys divorced and separated, or whatever the terminology was. That's the last time I seen her. She did get remarried within about 2 weeks or so after the divorce was final. So if that tells you anything about what had transpired, then you're probably on to the story right there. So anyway, her grandfather, very nice man, one of the nicest individuals that you could ever meet on the planet Earth. He had a farm. He had some old John Deere tractors and such. And oftentimes, I will, I really enjoy Reefy 1952 Mike's, I always get this wrong, so hang on, bear with me. There we go. And then we're going to unload. Nope. We're going to unload them, and that's just going to keep them right there. And then we're going to drive over the sell point, and that will eventually kind of let them sell. So, no, Mike isn't really part of this story, but a couple of Mike's series, he uses some of the really old farm equipment, some occasionally maybe some old John Deere's, stuff like that. But regardless of the branding of the equipment that he uses, a lot of that stuff, my grandfather-in-law, I will call him, and I will still give him that title, just because he is a remarkable, or was a remarkable human being. He had a lot of that old equipment on his farm, and so from time to time I would help him out, because like I said, he was he worked in the logging industry. He lived in Louisiana, and worked in the pine forests, cutting down pine for a variety of materials, mostly pulp-based products. I think there was a pretty large paper company that was there in the area, and so he worked oftentimes 6 days a week, or at least 5.5 days a week. And of course, weather and all that kind of stuff often dictated whether he worked in the logging piece of it or not. But anyway, he had several dozen head of cattle there, and when my wife and I were married, my first wife, when she and I were married, he gave her I think it was about 3 acres of land, and she had a few cows, and he gave me a couple of his cows. So we had about five or six cows, I believe, and had a little piece of land, and we did a bit of farming and such. Well, anyway, he had, like I said, he had this old equipment, and so had bell forks and stuff. So long story short, I guess where I was going with all this is that, in the game, it's a little different than it is in the real world, as far as using pallet forks and using equipment that has pallet forks on them, and so I just really struggle at it, and that is my story. And so thank God for some of this equipment that sort of eases the use. It's not cheating, I I I do not know where some people come from when they say, those of you that cheat in money or use auto loading trailers or auto loading scripts on bell forks and all this stuff, you're cheating, and you're you're second class citizens, second class gamers, whatever. I don't buy into all that. There is no right or wrong way in how you play this game or really any other game. As far as that goes, I don't buy into that whole thing that anyone is any better than the other. It's what you want to do with the game, what you want to enjoy out of the game. For me, this game is about its title. It's about farming. It's about the simulation of farming and agricultural work, and I enjoy all aspects of the game, really. I mean, I really do. I even enjoy, even though you guys have not seen anything in Farm Sim 17 with regards to forestry, I do enjoy it, but I enjoy it at a very limited base. So let's just say the entire pie here is 100, is 100, represents 100%, okay? So the entire Farm Sim 17 game represents a pie that's 100%. So out of the plowing and the cultivation and the planting, seeding, harvesting, mowing, baling, all of that kind of stuff represents probably about 95%. I enjoy the forestry aspects, 5 to 10 to 15%. I don't excuse me. I haven't done any forestry at all on Farm Sim 17, so that may tell you that, again, it's a very, very small percentage. On a map like this, I might, if I were to do forestry, and I don't really have any intentions of doing forestry on this map in this series, but if I were to do it, it would probably comprise about, an episode, about 30 minutes of on-camera activity, and maybe an hour and a half or so mixed between on-camera and off-camera work to accomplish the tasks of forestry, and that's it. And then I would be done. I like the like the Ponzi equipment, because it's it's fun to operate when everything is working correctly. But so that's why you haven't really seen a whole lot of forestry, and probably why you won't see any of it on the two series that I'm currently playing right now. So that is Lawfolds and that is Pineco Farm. Now, I think if my episodes are lining up the way that I think they're going to be lining up, I may have told you something. I may have actually told you something yesterday as I look over at my spreadsheet. Yeah, I think I probably broke the news to you yesterday that Pineco Farm was basically going to go bye-bye, because the fact is that we did all the harvesting that we could do, and where we sort of ended up, we've got about half of our fields that we had planned on being able to harvest did not come in before winter time set in. Even though there are things that we could do to carry that series out, I suppose. Let me just disconnect the tractor. We're going to leave those bells there. See, I guess that's what it was, folks. So we all learned something together. So I guess that there is and I did not know this. Okay, so my apologies, because we have kind of shortchanged ourselves here in a way, only because for probably the last several episodes, we have not been producing any wool because I was getting the error that basically said the essentially the wool pallet zone was full. Now normally I associate that error, or I should say that warning, with the fact that we've spawned, I think it's 6 pallets is what this little area here will hold. So I've been coming, usually off camera, coming up here and moving these pallets over to this zone over here. Now you know that in the last episode we did sell some sheep. We had a humongous amount of sheep, sort of an explosion in our sheep population, and I did bring that down to 175, I believe. So it looks like we've had one new sheep born in that amount of time. But I did bring that down, and of course today we've sold 2 trailers. I did 1 trailer off camera, and then 1 trailer we did on camera of wool. And I'm guessing that within this area we had the max number of pallets that that it was capable of showing, or just based on the map itself, you can only accumulate so many pallets of wool. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that trailer held 9 pallets. So 9, 18, 9, 18, 20, 22, 23. So probably somewhere around 23 pallets or so is that max number. And I don't really know why that happened, but that is what happened. So anyway, back to Pine Cove Farm. I'm going to I forgot to leave a vehicle down here to get us back to the main farm, so I am going to teleport, and we'll just teleport and get on to this guy here. So we've got this hired worker. He or she, let's see what we've got here. Looks like a lady, so that's wonderful. We'll call her Jill. She is seeding this in sunflowers. So you might remember that we had a hired worker cultivate the oilseed radish into this field, and now we have them back on our farm and paying them to do our sunflower here on field number 28. So back to the news of back to the news about Pine Cove Farm. And let me just look at the clock. We're about 18 minutes in. So one thing that you guys have yet to really see me use here on this map is the Penta DB50. I reviewed this mod. Actually, I reviewed this mod using this map in one of my Grizzly Bear Sims 5-minute mod reviews. So we're going to, I think what we're going to do here is we'll grab a hold of this guy, and I'll finish telling you about Pine Cove Farm here in just a minute. So we're going to go ahead and grab this guy here, and the T8 is slipping, so I'm not sure why she is slipping, but we will back this guy up here, and I think we're going to take a look and see if we can sell a bit of grain. You know, normally I would wait until we had a high demand for something, but you know, we don't really have that luxury. We've got plenty of money, so it's not money as an issue. Just let me go over here to this guy and see what is going on, and why is she over here? That just does not make sense. So stop the driver, and let's see if we can kind of figure out where she was in relation to where she needed to be. Let's see. So let's bring up our lines here. She may have been finished, actually. No, she's not finished. I'm thinking she would have been right about here. So we'll turn this off. We'll get back over here. See if she'll figure this out. Okay, we'll get back to our Fent here and our DB. So let me just take a look here at what we have in inventory. because it's not going to do any good with me trying to fake this. So how about some soybeans to Highland grains? That's pretty good. We've got quite a bit of them, so we will fill this up with soybeans. There we go. All right. So back to Pine Cove Farm. As I announced in yesterday's episode of Pine Cove Farm, as far as I know, for now, that map is going to be ending. I say as far as I know because this is basically, well, first of all, let me find out where Aberdeen Grains is. Aberdeen Grains is up in the, okay. First of all, this is a agricultural based farming simulator game, okay? So it's about, it's about farming. It's about all the aspects that comprise the farming industry, okay? Now, forestry obviously is somewhat a part of that, and I'm sorry, let me just look at the big map and see. Okay. Forestry is obviously a part of that, but from the perspective of a farmer, any farmer, that's doing the type of farming that, at least that I illustrate, that I showcase in the game itself, that the type of forestry that goes into that is not really the same. And she's slipping again, and we're just going to let that sit there for now, because by the time we make it to Aberdeen Grains and get back, it'll be time to end this episode. But anyway, this simulation-based game is about farming. It can be about, arable, it can be about animals, and it can be about both. And I sort of play it like both. I mean, I do with like Pine Cove Farm, that was mostly about animals. But unfortunately, because some of our fields that we really needed to get in to have harvested did not occur because of what I believe is just the fact that I have updated the Seasons mod multiple times within the course of this game save, and I think that things just got slightly out of control, or out of sync with the mod and the game and all of those aspects. And I think that something has happened, and it's prevented those fields from being from maturing in the span of time that we need them to mature. And so, having said that, while I could do other things on that map and kind of finish out a story, if you will, again, to me, this game is about, let's see, I think we can go right here and then left. This game is about farming, and so because that's how I feel about it, because some of these other things, even the composting plant, the BGA, the greenhouses, all of that other stuff, that still, to me, that still fits into a piece of the pie wedge that is around 25% or less in size. Okay, so at least 75%, if not more, of my interest in this game has to do with the plowing, cultivation, seeding, planting, fertilization, harvesting, rinse and repeat aspects of the game. And because those things are somewhat broken for the reasons I said they were, I don't really have an interest in pursuing that map any further. And I sort of will apologize. It's not my fault, and it's also not Stevie's fault, and it's also not the modding team that's responsible for the Seasons mod. And remember, here at this particular facility, you want to make sure that you are off to the right-hand side a ways, because otherwise your tipper is gonna get all messed up there. as it raises up. I think we'll be okay. Yep. So that is the deal. So I did a sort of a last episode just to kind of explain what happened and why it happened, or at least, explain the best that I could as to why I thought it happened, and then just to basically say that, I appreciated Stevie for all of his hard work in producing a wonderful map to explore and to play and spend time on. Um, but essentially, I'm done with it because of the fact that it sort of has broken. Now, it's possible that, you play that map, go ahead and play it through the winter or the remaining hours of fall and winter, and come back around with spring, and it's possible that things would have got back into sync with each other, and that would have most likely been all that would have needed to be done. But as I've sort of experienced with this map, and thinking that quite possibly doing 2 full seasons is a bit much, even though I love this map to death. This, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and certainly don't mean to short sell, um, I certainly don't mean to short sell Bullet Bill. I think maybe before I met this map, I think if you would have asked me what my favorite all-time map was, I believe I would have said, and I probably even did say, that it was Coldborough Park Farm. Um, I don't know. I'm thinking that it's possible that this map may have taken its place as far as what I like about a nice map. This map is, um, it sort of it satisfied my British style farming map, but gave me a little bit of openness, which I like. I don't really like a real tight map with a lot of tight roads and tight fields with, fences or hedges or whatever, really, really close. I like a little bit of distance between the edge of the field and the fence or the hedge or whatever, a tree or whatever might be there. And this map, Lawfolds, has certainly met all of that criteria, if you will. And now that's not to say that you won't see me use a map that sort of takes me out of my comfort zone just a little bit, because again, I do like a challenge from time to time, but from the perspective of just really, really enjoying a map, I would have to say that, this has been the map that I think has taken that distinguished place that I held for Coldborough Park Farm. So yeah, so that's my story, and I'm gonna stick to it, obviously. So all right, so we've parked up our DB50. We did a couple of different things today. Again, you've seen all of this before, and I really try to limit what I put on the channel, what I put on as far as my Let's Plays and stuff is concerned. Really not sure why she is having problems with her field, but we will help her and get that taken care of. And basically, we are coming up into well, let's see, we're in late spring, so we've got probably another episode for this game day, where we will finish up our seeding of our remaining fields, and we have, I believe, these two, 29 and 30, and then our big field over here, field number 26, still lack to be seeded. So we will get that done most likely in that episode, and then that will present us into the first day of fall. And what we have to do then, I don't know. We'll find out together when we get to that point. So anyway, a few things that we've learned from this episode is, not only do you have to worry about the amount of wool that's spawning in the spawn area, so obviously here on Lawfolds that holds 6 bells. So we have to maintain that and get that out of the way, but also don't think that you can hoard it too much, because after you get about what was it that we said, about 24 bells or something like that, it seems to detect that and says, nope, we're not going to give you any more until you sell that. So we didn't have a high demand this time around for wool, but you know, that is what it is. We needed to get that out of the way. We still have about 5 or 6 bells, I think, in storage, and then it was producing bells again. So we'll have a few more bells that we will obviously need to sell coming, you know, in the near future, and we can do that, you know, whenever. And so thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate that. I'm looking forward to wrapping this series up, but you know, I think I mentioned last time that I was asking you guys if you wanted me to maybe wrap the series up a bit early. I think what I want to do is I want to at least continue to play this series out a little bit more to see how those crops are going to behave as far as when they're going to come available for harvest. It's quite possible, because we're planting in the last day of spring, which we also planted in the last day of spring on Pineco Farm. It's possible that these fields that we're planting today are not going to come available for harvest before winter gets in. And if that is the case, then that's 2 maps that this has happened on, and I'll make sure that I communicate this potential issue with the Seasons mod team. But again, it may also be because we've been updating the mod in the current game save. And one of the things that I'm going to try to do with the next series is keep that mod, the version of the mod that I start that series with, keep that as the current version for that particular map, and see if we can eliminate some of these problems with the game getting out of sync with both the Seasons mod and the base game mechanics and everything itself. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate that. Please make sure you click that like button. Please subscribe if you are not a subscriber here of the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. I appreciate it if you would do that, and then certainly come back for more videos. Catch up with me over on the 3 Dudes Gaming Network or PCSG or both. And if you have questions, you can leave them in the comment section below the video, or you can also email me at grizzlybearsims@gmail.com. Thank you so much for watching from Lawfolds. My name is Jerry. Thank you all so much. Take care, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.